Hello there everyone, today's video we're going to take a look at the impending changes to UK company law, and there's some big ramifications coming in, what this all means. So the first one is registering limited companies. So if you're setting up a new limited company, no longer can you use a PO box. So that's the first one. It has to go to an actual address where an individual can action the receipt of those documents accordingly. Now, the whole thrust of these changes, and it's a pretty radical suite of changes. It's the biggest change in company law that I've seen probably since about 2006. And it's all about trying to combat fraud, anti-money laundering, this sort of thing. And so the government has said, right, we're going to target company law in various areas. And the first one is identifying people who are an actual proper address, forget PO boxes. So that's the first one. The second one, and that's coming in next week on the 4th of March. Next one coming in a little bit later in May 2024, and this is terrible, is increase in fees. So at the minute, if you file a confirmation statement, if you're a limited company, every year you have to file a confirmation statement confirming any changes on the statute books to directors, shareholders, that sort of thing. And it costs £13 every time you file it online. Okay? That fee is going up to, where is it? It's going up to £34. So from 13 to 34. I mean, that's an unbelievable increase. So that ain't a good thing. Is it because the country's skint and we need the money? I don't know, but that is not good news. And it's not just filing the confirmation statement. If you look on the Companies House website, it's a whole suite of different things that you could potentially pay them money for. Different forms, different documents, different actions in company law. All of them have gone up, every single one. So a massive price increase by Companies House. Not good. All right, what else? Okay, so digital filing of accounts. I think most people, I would suggest, file their accounts to Companies House electronically anyway. There is still an option to file paper. Put them in the post, get them down to Companies House at Cardiff. People have been doing that for decades, and people still do, particularly, let's say, if there's some amended accounts. Often certain types of software won't let you file amended accounts to Companies House. You then have to print it off and make a few signatures from the directors, get it in the post. But Companies House has basically said, look, going forward, we want to make all accounts submissions to us digital, not paper. Okay, fine, not got a problem with that. That's a good thing. So, what else? Now, here's the real biggie. I've saved the best for last. I say the best. It's probably the worst. If you're a owner of your own limited company and you're used to filing accounts. And what happens is, let me give you the background to this. So, if you read the spiel on the Companies House website, it says there is so many £1 billion of fraud, business fraud every year, and a lot of it is in smaller companies. And a lot of it's to do with also the fact that they don't have to file full accounts. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you're a small company, and we're talking, even, you may say, what is small? Well, even up to 10 million turnover is deemed a small company. Don't have to file a profit and loss account at Companies House, just a balance sheet. So, and you can't really tell too much from a balance sheet, because a balance sheet is one day in time. It's the company year end, and it could have all changed the next day. You could have received a lot of money from your debtors. You could have paid out a lot to your creditors or your shareholders or whatever. You can't garner any real sense of information from the balance sheet, whereas all the action, as it were, is in the profit and loss account. But hundreds of thousands of small companies were not obligated to file profit and loss accounts. So none of them did. Why would you if you don't have to? Now the government is saying, actually, there's a lot of shenanigans going on, business fraud, particularly in smaller companies, not so much the FTSE 100 and the big boys, it's the smaller companies. So we want every company, whether it be small or micro entity, what they call less than small, all companies to file profit and loss accounts. So that's a real game changer. So for businesses that have been in existence for many years, used to, people not seeing their results and their profit. They don't want their competitors to see how well they're doing. They don't want people to see their profit margins. They're quite happy to play by the rules that says you just need to file a balance sheet. Well, that changes, and now you're going to have to file a profit and loss account for every limited company. So that is a real game changer. And when it comes in, we're not quite sure yet, because when you go on and have a look at company law, we've got these dates for, certain things start next week. The mandatory requirement now to file profit and loss account for small companies, that will be brought in by secondary legislation. What does that mean? Well, basically all this other stuff was brought in by a Finance Act, a change in the law that occurred a few months ago, taking effect now. This change specifically to having to file a profit and loss account will be brought in by further legislation. So it ain't in yet, and I don't know when it's going to come in, but it's on the horizon. I think the government is committed to making this happen. So again, in terms of if it's coming in, what format will it be? How detailed will it be? Will it just have sales, cost of sales, gross profit, total expenses, net profit? I don't know. Or will you have to show all the different expense headings like you would on a detailed profit and loss account? So all that to be ironed out, which will come out in the secondary legislation. But just a heads up, that is on its way. I can't see there being any sort of U-turn on that. That will come in. When it comes in, we don't know. Could be this year, next year. But a real game changer for public visibility of small company accounts, basically. So just an overview there on the changes afoot to company law. Some of them are coming in the next few days. So if you like this video, please do subscribe, and as always, I'll see you soon.